Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another HASATA Deck Profile, and this time what we're covering will be Granfia. So Granfia, I can just show you the right line right now while I'm talking about it. Um, we do get, like recently we do get the Luster Impart Dragon as support for Granfia and Leonor, and that card went up so high. I'm so glad I get it well prepared while the card is released before we actually know what it does. I already plan to get 4, and when I see it available I immediately get 4 and before it goes up, so I don't need to worry about it at all, uh, which to some people is actually kind of sad that when they are magazine cards but it's not that easy to get if you're not in Japan locally. It takes you some effort to actually get it, or you need to actually pay a lot more for it. But yeah, I have the card. The first thing I test is Granfia, and well, I was planning to also test Leonor before we get any kind of support, but since uh, the day I'm actually recording is the 17th, so that we already know there is a new Leonor coming, so I think while we do get some support through the Leonor mask, but then I think we can just move on to the next stage to actually show you the deck profile afterwards. But if you do want to see me doing like a Leonor mask deck profile with actually using the Luster Impart Dragon, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Um, if I see enough, I will just have the motivation to do it. Yeah, so get back to Granfia. Now the right line is still the same. It's just good for it. Some people use the rural right line, but I think this right line is still kind of better. That you do have a chance to ride it for free. Yeah, so nothing too much to say about the right line, but Granfia is still a deck in a very interesting spot that if you're facing a retired heavy deck, you still can play. So as long as Scandiva is still the meta, this deck will not likely be able to just come in as a good player. But then if you're playing as a road deck, if you kind of know very well how to face different opponents by taking which time to take a win, which time to take a lose, and you are that kind of person, then this might be a good deck for you to just go in while all your opponents don't actually know too much about the deck, and they're suddenly surprised by the high attacks and they lose. And this time we're covering the order first. So I'm running one of the Holy Grail, the Callus, and then 2 of the Frozen Salmon, because I think Persona is actually quite important. Even though sometimes you don't have the soul and don't have another Granfia, the Persona can actually sometimes save you. So here we are with this extra chance to get Persona right, but if you do have like a lot of Granfia already, then you can simply just ditch it for anything you need it, right? And then Frozen Resentment is just to help you out to bring something helpful back. If you are not facing like a retired heavy deck, then this will be a good backup for you, because the rest of the units will usually just be enough. But sometimes you actually need to ditch some units to actually use your right line, and you have a chance to reborn them. I think that's still great. Next, Primogramvia. We need the souls, we need the personal right, and that's also one reason I'm using this. So nothing too much to say about that. Orange. Orange is your very good helper for early aggression. It generates basically 2 planet tokens as long as he's on place and is in the front row. So that can help you to do a lot of early rushing things just with 1 orange. Yeah, because with 1 orange you generate 2, with the right line you generate another 1, so that's already 4 regards. With Vanguard, then it's just up to you how you arrange your regards. They can turn into different level of text, and sometimes that is just enough to be annoying early stage, and you can even win during your first Granfia turn if you manage well. So we still need the orange, and since I changed the deck build away from my lovely insects, so the chances of orange can go to the front row has highly increased. Yeah, and that's why I always get to have enough plant tokens and just swing a lot of times with sufficient power. That's it. Again, not that it's not again, but yeah, the insects isn't bad. I think it's a very interesting build that I actually came up with. But when we are actually using the new card Luster Impart Dragon to like support the deck, then the insects are not quite a good fit with that strategy. So I changed to try this out, and it works. So there we go. So with Luster Impart Dragon, let's talk about his skill. During a turn, if your back row has 2 or more grade 1 or less regards, this unit will get boost and plus 5k. Now, the boost part, I tried to use it more often, but after so many testing, I find out I am not actually doing that. Because it's better to let this card stay in the front row so that you can activate the second part of the effect that I'm going to talk about soon. And it's not that easy to always get 2 grade 1 or less regards while this card is in the back row. Right? While you like playing the games, if you put this card to the back row, you probably will just lose the boost, you probably will just lose the 5k. So from my testing, I think this card is better staying in front for the Granfia. But for Leonon, maybe you can actually have a chance to let it stay at the back. Maybe. And the second skill is once per turn. When this unit is stand by the ability with your Vanguard with Granfia or Leonon in its card name, if your Vanguard's power is 33k or higher, you can so plus 1 draw a card, and this unit will get extra 5k until end of turn. Now, that's the reason why you prefer this card in the front row for Granfia, because you stand regards with Granfia to do multiple attacks, and it's better to let it stay in front, right? And for Leonard, because you are restanding boosting cards, then it's better to stay at the back. Yeah, so that's basically explained. But this card actually, I would say it isn't helping Granfia that much with the first skill. The plus 5k is great, but more importantly is it helps you to draw more cards so that you can survive. Because at the same time, I am running my Daria. So Daria is another card that draws me card, as long as this card is in the back row and I do have the Noblest Rose token. I can counterblast when I draw 1, right? And then this can also draw me cards. So with these 2 on the field, I basically counterblast 1 and soul blast 1 to draw 2 cards every turn. Mostly, because as long as my Vanguard reaching enough power and I have the Rose token there, then I can do that, right? So the more cards we draw, meaning the higher chance we can survive or we can rebuild the field, and that will links to the next turn. As long as we have something that links to the next turn, we have a way to fight back, which in the past with Granfia is not that much, because we have a lot of cards that generate plant tokens, but we don't have a lot of cards to soul charge. And even we can generate a lot of plant tokens, they will just go under the Noblest Rose token as plant gauge. That will not benefit your board, because you still, in the end, you still need to at least have 2 more you guys in the front row to attack, so that you can withstand them, right? If you don't have anything, you just have your Vanguard, it doesn't matter. But now we have more cards that stays on the field, and as long as they stays on the field, they will keep giving you benefits. That's, I think, is very, very important. And that links to the next card, which is the DBT12 support, Rosaria Fairy. So when this card is placed on the Regard circle, retire another Regard and call up to 2 plant tokens, which you could just simply pop one of your plant gauge to generate 2 plant gauges, basically. And when this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Granfia or Leonor in its card name, and your opponent's Vanguard is Granfia or higher, choose one of your other back row Regards and increase this unit powers by that unit's power until end of that battle. And it's not increased to the same as the target you've chosen, but it's increased the number that the chosen card has on top of what you have. So with this deck specifically, is basically how big your Rose token is. You will just plus that on top of this, and you can withstand with popping plant gauges and withstand this card, right? Even though your Rose token will just decrease at least 15k power, but that will still help this card to attack with a very high attack. And this changes a lot of things, because with Granfia, we sometimes our front row attacks are very, very weak, even we can withstand it. But now you can use this to swing with a big number, withstand it with another big number attack, right? Or you can save it, use the other side, which probably will be an orange, or this, it will swing, and then you can withstand that side while you still have a very big attack on the other side. And that is like enhancing what Granfia is doing and be more scary. And this can also like benefits Leonor, but I haven't actually tried that out yet, which I should be and I will. But for Granfia case, this is a very, very, very good support while you are trying to generate a very big Rose token with the aid of your orange and also your mushrooms, right? So the mushrooms plus 5k, you can simply just add to your Rose token, because that 5k will also benefit to your fairy. So yeah, you can see there's a lot of things that can actually help out. And then to the end for extra reborn, because sometimes we can rely on this to generate like basically 2 plant tokens every single turn, but then that's not enough, and we need the mushrooms, and we can soul blast the mushroom out easily now. So DM or Frozen 7 can just bring back the mushroom and put it back to your soul, so you can have 2 more plant tokens and plus 5k as long as you have a grade-free Granfia Vanguard, which is quite easy to use, and this will also help you generate plant token. So all these links to building a big Rose token while still having something on the board and having more great ones that can actually stay in the back row will just give it easier to get the 5k and the boost. With this, you will always stay in the front row for the big attacks. So these will be the other options plus the Rose token, so that you can actually reach there. And then I'm ending with 4 normal PGs. It's still better. In this deck, I think it's still better because you draw a lot of cards, it doesn't matter. Or the emergency 1 card block is great, so I'm still using this rather than the elemental shield. Even if I have more of the elemental shield available for a lot more decks, I probably will still go for this. Triggers. I am using the elemental one because we are hitting very, very hard, so I want to make every punches as hard as possible, and just this still kind of feel slightly better than the Slovakia one, but if you want to use that, feel free to use it. The other ones I probably won't be suggesting at all, probably just 2, and there we go. And then because I will use my cards to actually defend, so my crits are just vanilla ones. But if you want to use the soaring crit, you can. I rarely put it down. My board is very limited. I don't even have the chance to put it down. So I'd rather just use some normal crits. So I don't need to switch my soaring crit, and it's actually serving its purpose. So it's a valid choice. And then take a draws for the defense, and then 3 heals and 1 effect heals, depending on the meta. This, because we draw a lot of cards, I think this will actually come in handy as a anti-meta pick. So I just put it there, but if you prefer to just use the 15k heals, you can do that as well. Not that it will just change a lot of things, but I always love the empty slot if I find the deck needed. But if I don't see the deck needed that, then I will turn it back to a 15k heal, which is easier to manage my own expectation and defensive. But in this type of deck, I think one extra slot will not kill it. So yeah, that's it. So you can see when I take out the insects, then I actually have a lot more space for mushrooms, more space to actually test this, for this, and then my Regus piece changed from 4-bit to this. So it's, if you compare the two, with the insects you always generate a stable power, right? It's like the power is kind of fixed, so that you don't need to worry about too many things. With this, you think a little bit more, and the stable part is that you can generate enough tokens instead of running out of gases, while trying to aim for a more balanced attacks with higher attacks, even though your first 3 attacks will not be balanced, because one side will be this or this, which is kind of low sometimes, and then you have a big punch waiting, which with the insects, which is always the same. Like the level, the wave will be the same. This will have a little bit difference, but that difference sometimes just be scary sometimes. Yeah, so I think both ways works, and if you can't access to this, I think the insect version is better for you. But if you can get access to it, then this build will probably be better. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts. I'll show you 2 builds. Which one you like more? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and share this video to your friends. Share your thoughts out. Also, like, again, comments down below. Let me know your thoughts as well. Subscribe for more deck profile, deck fights, and unboxing videos. And I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.